The sun was barely above the horizon on September 8, 2019, when the silence of the Afghan valley shattered like glass. A lone American sniper, Sergeant Kayla Williams, lay prone on a jagged ridge, her cheek welded to the stock of her M1 Den rifle, watching through her scope as the Ranger platoon she'd been attached to walked straight into hell. 12 men, moving fast through a narrow draw, thinking the village ahead was cleared. Then the mountains erupted. AK fire, PKM machine guns, RPGs, screaming in from 3 sides. In less than 5 seconds, the Rangers were pinned down behind crumbling mud. Walls, surrounded, bleeding, and calling for help that wasn't coming. Kayla was 200 meters up the slope, alone, invisible, and the only thing standing between those men and a massacre. What's up, warriors? If you feel that chill running down your spine already, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications, because this channel is where we tell the stories the history books are too afraid to print. Today you, about to witness one of the most savage acts of precision vengeance ever recorded in combat. Kayla's spotter had taken shrapnel in the first burst and were unconscious beside her, blood pooling under his helmet. She did have time to check if he was still breathing. Through the glass, she counted at least 30 enemy fighters pouring fire down on the Rangers. The platoon leader, his voice cracked over the radio, we're affixed any station that can bring fire. Static. Kayla keyed her own mic, voice calm as winter steel. Ranger 6, this is Reaper 2-1. I have eyes on. Stand by. Then she went to work. Her first round took the enemy machine gunner in the center of his chest at 680 meters. The PKM went silent. Before the shock even registered with the others, her second shot removed the loader standing right next to him. 2 bodies, 2 seconds, 1 rifle. The enemy started screaming, pointing up toward her ridge, trying to find the ghost that had just killed their heaviest weapon. They never would. Kayla had already shifted 3 feet left, broken her outline against the rocks, and was tracking the RPG man who was trying to flank the Rangers from the east. The Funder's anti-5 grain MN8LR bullet crossed the valley in less than a second and punched through his sternum. The rocket-propelled grenade fell from his lifeless hands and cooked off harmlessly in the dirt. Down in the draw, the Rangers heard the cracks, saw men dropping, and for the first time in 5 terrifying minutes they realized someone was fighting back. One of them, a staff sergeant with half his face covered in blood, started laughing like a madman. "It's a damn angel," he yelled. "We got a guardian angel on the ridge." But the enemy commander was no amateur. He knew a sniper was up there now, and he sent a 6-man assault team sprinting up the slope straight toward Kayla's position, trying to overrun her before she could thin them out any further. She saw them coming, 6 shadows zigzagging through the boulders, getting closer every second. 200 meters became 150, then 100. She only had seconds before they'd be on top of her. Most snipers would have broken contact, fallen back, saved themselves. Kayla did T-move. She waited until the lead fighter was 72 meters away, close enough that she could see the hate in his eyes through the scope. Then she put 1 round through his forehead. The man behind him tripped over the body, and before he could recover, Kayla's bolt was already cycling and her next bullet took him through the throat. 4 left. They started spraying full auto up the hill, rounds snapping inches over her helmet. She never flinched. 1 by 1, with ice-cold precision, she dropped them all. 6 men, 6 shots. 6 bodies sprawled across the rocks like broken dolls. The valley went eerily quiet except for the ringing in everyone's ears. The enemy commander realized he'd just lost his machine gun team, his RPG man, and an entire assault squad to a single rifle. Panic set in. Fighters started breaking cover, running for the rear ridges. That was the mistake Kayla had been waiting for. Open movement. No cover. Perfect sight picture. She began what the Rangers later called the harvest. Every time a head popped up, it disappeared in a red mist. Every time someone tried to drag a wounded comrade to safety, both men died together. In 8 minutes she fired 23 rounds and accounted for 21 confirmed kills. The math did add up to the enemy. It felt like they were fighting an entire company. Then came the moment that still gives the surviving Rangers nightmares. The enemy commander, desperate, grabbed a wounded Ranger who'd been separated from the platoon during the initial ambush. He dragged the kid, 19-year-old Private First Class Ryan Lopez into the open and put an AK to his head, screaming in Pashto for the sniper to show herself or watch the boy die. Kayla's crosshairs settled on the commander's temple. Distance 412 meters. Wind negligible. But the commander was using Ryan as a human shield, keeping the kid head directly in line with his own. One twitch, one flinch, and she killed the wrong man. The radio exploded with the platoon leader begging her not to take the shot. "He is too close, Reaper. You will hit Lopez. Stand down, stand down." Kayla exhaled, slowed her heartbeat the way only the best snipers can, and did the impossible. She waited for the single half-second when the commander shifted his weight and Ryan head dipped a fraction lower. Her trigger broke clean. The 7.60 round passed less than an inch above Ryan's helmet and took the top of the commander's skull clean off. Ryan dropped to the ground unharmed, staring in shock at the headless corpse still holding the rifle. That was the turning point. With their commander dead, the remaining fighters threw down their weapons and ran. Apache helicopters finally screamed in 5 minutes later, late to the party but happy to mop up whatever was left. The Rangers stood up from behind their walls, covered in dust and blood, looking up at the ridge where a lone figure in a ghillie suit was already disappearing over the backside, dragging her unconscious spotter with her. They medevaced 14 wounded that day. Not one Ranger died. Every single man who came home owed his life to a 26-year-old woman from a tiny town in West Texas who never won, raised her voice on the net, never asked for praise, and vanished into the mountains the second the fight was over. Sergeant Kayla Williams received a Distinguished Service Cross in a quiet ceremony months later. Most of the details remain classified. The Ranger she saved started calling her the Reaper of Shah Wali Kot. But if you ask her today what happened on that ridge, she'll just shrug and say, "I was doing my job." And that, my friends, is the day one American sniper turned the tide of a battle with nothing but a rifle, a scope, and a heart that refused to let her brothers die. So tell me in the comments, from which part of the country are you watching this video right now? Drop your state, your city, wherever you're holding it down tonight, because I read every single one. And I want to know where the warriors are gathered. If this story hit you in the soul, smash that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear what real courage looks like, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay hard.